Alrighty, here we go. Let me pick up my controllers. It's always trouble to find them. There it is. And double check to make sure, yep, we are streaming. Seems good. Cool. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Concept Art Design in VR. I really need a snazzy title, but I haven't got one yet. Yep, we're good. Yep, cool. So I posted on my Facebook yesterday. I had ordered the Art of Solo, and it showed up, and so spaceships and Star Wars spaceships, and like, ooh, Star Wars spaceships. It's to me, that's kind of like the biggest part of Star Wars is the spaceships. It always has been that and the planets. But and that's what I'm honestly most psyched about. With the new movie is like, oh, I'm going to see a bunch of new ships and a bunch of new tech, and I think it's going to be cool. So we're going to make ourselves a ship, and I'm not exactly sure what it's going to look like, but my goal is to go more, like I said, Star Warsy versus, say, Battlestar. Although Battlestar is relatively similar, but certainly than like Star Trek or one of those other things. So I've got my symmetry turned on, and I'm trying to think what's our base form going to look like. Looks like a butt right now. So we got a couple of options, right? Maybe before I do this, let's think. So shrink it down. So Star Wars has always had a couple, like there's the simple shape model. So there's we all know it, the X-Wing fighter. Perhaps the coolest thing created by, Lucas ever. It's kind of got a World War II vibe. All Star Wars vehicles have a World War II vibe, but it's got a fighter vibe to it. Then we have, everyone knows this one, TIE Fighter. It's an interesting shape. It's not one you think of as a spaceship, but it works super well. I know my TIE Fighter looks like ass, but I'm just kind of getting my thoughts in order. Then perhaps to the one that's most applicable maybe to the movie coming out now is turn off symmetry. This is what's cool about this one. It's not symmetrical. Oh, okay, delete them both. I turned off symmetry. Millennium Falcon. Yes, I know it's a shitty Falcon, but turn back on symmetry. The right button. Yeah, so the Falcon. Wow, it's a bad looking Falcon, but whatever. So those are our like big, our main small ships that we see kind of over and over again. You can see the silhouettes on the bottom down there. We also have the Pizza Wedge. Star Destroyer. Another classic favorite. And we have sort of the long rebel ship. It's like that. Those are our big shape design. So what we're looking at in all cases is a very simple start point. We've got an X, we've got a circle or a sphere, we have a circle, we have a pie shape, we have a cylinder. They're all based on real, there's no like weird ass, whoo, I'm a long, curvy Minbari ship thing. There's none of that. That's not Star Wars. So, Pedro, okay. What do we want to make? What basic shape do we want to model our ship after? Go to single. Do I go with the Krillin? I could start as a hockey puck. I don't know. I'm not feeling the hockey puck, and it's been done before a bunch. Obviously, like that's the problem we get into Star Wars is that all this stuff now has been kind of touched on pretty well. Um, there's the teardrop wedge shape, which is a little high tech for sometimes, but I think maybe we'll start with the teardrop. It's as big as I can get this one to go. So, okay. All right. So we're going to start with the teardrop if that's where we're going to be. Let's do some of our due diligence first. What is it? It's going to be a civilian ship, a freighter sort of crew carrier thing, sort of Millennium Falcon-esque in size, I guess. So your people are going to be about like, that. It's like about a person. We want it to feel fast. We want it to feel maybe relatively affluent, but not super. So we want to nod to the Naboo ships from the movies that people don't speak of, but not necessarily absolutely. But we want it to have that kind of a vibe. So right now it's angled down. And, all right. I'm just introducing a couple of almost randomnesses to it. And Star Wars ships are really tricky to make. Even you listen to interviews with the guys who work on the actual movies, and they're like, yeah, everyone thinks this is easy until you start trying to make it. And then it just doesn't feel Star Warsy. So I'm reasonably certain I will fail. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't try. I'm liking this so far, though. It's kind of got a nice shape to it. It's a little rounded for a lot of Star Wars. But maybe it'd be cool. And hopefully we get a cool spaceship out of it regardless, right? That's kind of the ultimate thing is, okay, if it doesn't feel Star Warsy enough, then at least we got a cool ship. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to get. So yeah. So yeah. Just kind of want to massage this shape into place a little bit. So one of the things I like a lot about the Falcon that I definitely want to try to replicate on this one is the fact that the engine is just a block in the back. It's just a glowy blue square. There's no jets or anything like that. It's not a fighter. So I think we're going to try to do that to start with. So and I'm going to try not to raise the poly count on this level yet. Let's go to mechanical and grab what I always call the rocket pod. And try to line it up as best we can. And cut. Yeah, all right. That's going to be our engine. Built into the thing. It's a little low poly, but yeah, I think we'll live. And I can always fix it in Photoshop later if I want to make it more crisp. So we have a clear front and clear shape. I always just want to like fly them around now when I'm like this. Let's go to a new layer. Now, the only reason I put that in the old layer is I had to cut into something, but now I want to kind of build onto this thing here. And let's see what we can do. I kind of wanted to have that, it's not really Millennium Falcon, but that sense of plates and parts put together on it. I don't want it to feel like a smooth thing. So I'm going to try and see what I can do to keep that from being there. And I'm not exactly sure, as I said. That starts to feel like a cockpit, which I'm not, I don't really want to have a cockpit. Like this is too big for that. Um, that though is kind of neat. There's some air air intake in space, right? But if one thing you can tell from Star Wars is they do not give a rat's ass about physics. Love it or hate it with the last movie and those bombers in space. You can just tell if you're going for that aesthetic, you don't need to worry too much about how physics actually works, because they certainly do not. No. Um, yes. Yeah, all right. So what I'm trying to do now is throw in some flat shapes to balance out against all of these sweepy curves that I kind of said I didn't want before. And I need to up-res. Things are too blobby right now. Was one enough? I'm trying to keep my up-reses to as few as possible because these things can get big. I do think I need to go one more though. And just try to keep track of where we're at. Don't like that. Don't like that. Maybe this shape's not what I want to play with yet. No. Now, let's find a different shape. But I'm going to keep the res higher because I think we're to that level now. That shape kind of looks like armor plating. Okay, now what happens if we move active layer only? Well then, no. I'm not sure about that big bump in the center. But I'll bring it down. Kind of interesting. It looks like it's almost like it's bolted on now, which is kind of cool. It may alter how we feel about this ship in terms of like its relative affluence. In the future. And I'm trying not to just stamp and leave pieces here. I want to adjust whatever I put in here. I don't want it to be strictly a Lego kit bash. I want it to be painted. So, and to be painted in some senses requires painted in 3D that I do some manipulating to it, that we adjust it. And I think we can do that for sure. But I just want to keep that in mind as I go forward, that I kind of want to do place and then move. I'm going to go full inner radius. Place and then move. Place and stretch. Place and drag. All these things so that it feels more intentional than just one little thing. So I'm liking that. So we took this stair step thing and we've turned it into something completely different. But that's what I wanted to do. I don't want to do that. We want to go here, bring the inner radius down a little bit. It's adjusting, right? It's big shapes, little shapes. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I like that. Yep. See, looking at it from all angles, it works for me. That's a neat shape. Let's try to do something else now and see what we can find. Different form. Maybe that. I use this shape, we know, all the damn time. If you watch, this is another one of my like favoritist shapes. I don't want it to feel like guns is the problem. I'm afraid that it might feel a little bit much like a gun. But not if I do that. Yep. Cool. Now it doesn't feel like a gun. Pull that back and make it more sweeping. So the forms, again, lay a form in, adjust it. Lay a form in, adjust it. I watched a really cool, Shadi Safadi's got this great digital painting series from a couple years back now that I can't recommend enough. No matter how you feel about his current feelings on photo bashing or whatever, which shockingly I agree with him, but no matter how you feel about that, dude can paint. And he had a really good video series where he was doing a landscape kind of in the style of Jamie Jones, and he broke it down a lot. And what he said that I loved was always never leave a stroke unaltered. So it's a combination of lay a stroke in, manipulate it, so that everything gets designed. You're not letting your brushes limit you. You're using your brushes to achieve your design. And absolutely the same thing applies in 3D. It's so easy when you're kit bashing to literally just take piece here, piece here, piece here, piece here, piece there, and put them all together. In fact, I mean, when I started modeling, actually before I could model at all, I started in Unreal Engine, just like smashing pre-built pieces together. And I mean, I made some pretty cool spaceships and stuff, I think, but there was no real design. I was limited by the shapes that I already had. It was so it wasn't me designing, it was me building things with elements. And it gets a little bit, I don't know, you can argue it one way or another because like with sufficiently small element sizes, it gets more designy, you know, like you can design in Legos, those are pre-built elements, but they're so small that you're not really keeping a design language with that other than just the Lego language. Whereas when you're like using existing engines and existing wings and existing everything, unless you get real creative, it can be really hard to put your own stamp on it. It's like being a slave to your reference instead of using your reference. Um, so now I really try as much as I can to make adjustments when it's appropriate. Like, okay, I'm going to lay those there. I don't think I'm going to adjust them. That's fine. But this kind of thing I definitely want to do. Okay, I'm liking the bottom of the ship. Let's quick save us. Yeah, that's feeling good. I like it up there. Bring it down. Bottom's looking good. This part obviously needs a bunch of work, and the top has basically nothing done on it, but the bottom is feeling cool. Let's go to a new layer now. It gets easier to adjust with the warp tool, excuse me, the move tool, if I can do it on its own layer. Let's see what happens if we put, where's my, oh, I'm probably outside of my, yes, I'm vastly outside of my shape. Okay, now I'm in. Cool. Place. Cool. And then move. Put it right there. That's cool. Gives us a nice kind of like trim edge and clay. And then let's do the same again in reverse this way. And move. Pull it around. Like it. There we go. And add a little bit there. And in a little bit there. It's a little wonky here. See if we can straighten that up a little bit. There we go. We need to do something here and here, but and you can see I'm not using anything complicated. These are sunglasses, I think. But I think they'll be cool here in the front. I'm gonna hold them differently though, make it easier to me. So sunglasses. Giving it a cool front. It's got a bow to a ship or something now. I'm gonna bring that down, bring that up just a little. Bring down. You can go nuts adjusting this stuff, obviously. Like, if you're taking into production modeling, you can spend days fixing like that wobbly edge here. I'm not going to do that because it's concept art. And I would give it to a real modeler to do something with if I needed to. But I do like the rim, so we'll go with that. See if we can find another cool piece. Let's see if we take that. That's kind of an interesting shape. Lay it down there. Move tool. In there. Stretchy stretch. And then all right. Yeah. I don't really know what it is, but okay. Doesn't need to be anything. Let's see. Wow. Let's go back up to, I'm going to just layer 2. And let's smooth that down just a little bit. Okay. Anyway. Back to our new layer. Back to clay. And maybe we can use that same piece. Can we? Let's see. Here. Kind of trippy. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely getting more rounded edges than some of those Star Wars ships. We'll see if I can pull it around to feeling like it could be. It's still got some tech. And they have definitely done some rounded ships, but I feel like it's feeling more like a Mon Calamari ship than an Empire ship right now. That's okay. Nothing wrong with the Mon. They are very good at detecting traps. Actually, they suck at it. That's why they continually get stuck in them. Throw that in there. Move. In. Okay. Just looking around. I think I'm going to put something in there. I think. Go back to housewares. Grab my handy radiator. I love this too. Just the thought of using a radiator for something like this just entertains the crap out of me. And now, move tool. Cool. Instant grate, just add radiator. Um, so many, but so many historical ships are made out of like toothpaste containers and dryers and all kinds of just weird shit that it's kind of fun just to continue that legacy a little bit. Okay, so this one actually does place it where I want it to be. Um, in there. Not line it. If I can line it up right, I think that's where I want it. Okay, a little high. Am I on the right layer to just move it? I don't remember. No. Undo. Well, we'll leave it there. Um, Clay. So I'm not using a lot of continuous stroke here because I like having the edges, but I think maybe I will soon. Gotta watch out for this one. It gets way high when you don't think it's going to. And I noticed this on another ship I was doing that it felt cool until I took it out, and then I was like, "What the hell is this huge freaking bump doing there?" And I didn't really like it. I was sad. That I kind of dig though. And I think it's far enough away from other crap that should be good. Cool. Cool. Turns it into plates. Plates are cool. Yeah, see how we're just taking this one shape and now we've done something really different with it. It's a little bit wonky. Smooth it down. Yeah, I'll leave it up. But yeah, it's, build, adjust, rebuild, adjust some more. Let's go to the new layer now. And clay, and pick another shape. So one thing you don't see a lot of in Star Wars ships are things like um, wireframe stuff. So I don't think I'm going to throw a lot of that onto this one. We'll leave it off. Um, Built. Um, there's my cryo pump always calling to me. But if I use it, I'm going to adjust it today. I don't want it to be its own thing. But goddamn, do I love it. One single. Oh, bitch, I'm out of. Yeah. Woo! Where am I? Okay. Yeah, now I should be able to do it. It's such a cool shape. I don't know who built this greeble. It's something I found on the internet, but it's just such a cool shape. It's such a cool shape that I can't leave it alone because it really is just very cool and recognizable over time, in my opinion. So we got to do stuff to it to keep it, you know, from feeling like I'm just cut and pasting this one. It's like when everyone made the chain brush in Photoshop. You remember the chain brush, right? Everyone remembers the chain brush because you could see it everywhere, and it became so obvious that yes, you made a chain brush. That it lost something to me. It's why I try actually not to use too much of other people's Photoshop brushes because I feel like you can really run the risk of over using a shape, and then it becomes very obvious. this is a garbage model. Like you can see there's like crap all on it, but I think for that, I'm good with it. And it kind of fills in that, gives us that feeling of like, I don't know, an engine. It has that sort of V12 kind of vibe going on to it to me. See if I can do something here. Yeah, nice looking engine shape. Doesn't mean much, but there it is. And maybe we can, let's see how this goes. Nah, it's too junky as a model. There's just, I think it's basically, it was too high res a part. So unless I really up res the shape, it just has jaggies on it. Cool. No. Yeah, okay, we'll let it happen. Like that area of the ship's getting pretty detailed out. So what else do we need to work on? I want to work on here and here a little bit. Make it feel a little less rounded, but hopefully still keep the basic silhouette shapes that we had. What the heck is that? Some kind of an engine? Yep. Tech wall. It says turret-like. It's not really turret-like, but in my opinion, I guess it kind of is, but all this is going to kind of just add to this sort of shape like it's an engine. So we want this ship to feel fast. So even though the engines are built in, there's a lot of like tubes and stuff going towards the back that just will help hopefully sell that engineness. Yeah, I don't like that though. Let's put a new shape. So, I mean, I keep saying it, but just keep observing. It's shape, evaluate, new shape, evaluate over and over again. It's not like, I don't want to, I want to be a bit more solid. It's not like there's I don't know, an overarching technique to this. It's just place something, just like with painting, place something, evaluate if it works or not. If it does, great. If it doesn't, place it again. I think that has potential, but I didn't get the angle the way I want it to be. That's better. I need to fix that, but I like that part. Um, yeah, place, evaluate, move, evaluate, place again, evaluate. No, but I think maybe, yes, maybe. I'm literally just cutting this shape up into pieces now. I'm just using it to imply some detail. And we're going to use a normal map with some tech parts on. So we'll add some like paneling and all that kind of micro detail throughout here where it's appropriate. So we don't need to stress too much about that. And let's see here. Maybe. Do we want it better like that? Let's see what it looks like upside down. I think that's too high. We could do that. like all this doesn't really matter because, it flies in space. But no, I think we're going to keep it a little more simple than that. Move it. Okay, yeah, gives us some plate. I could probably just do that with a normal map, but it's easy enough to do there, so let's do it there. Okay. This feels a little empty to me. I'm not even sure about that plate. Like, it feels a little weird. It was an idea, but we may cover it. Let's go mechanical again. Use some of the pre-built parts. On both sides? Yeah, it does. Okay. Okay. Remove. Okay. Cool. And then let's see. How do we feel about that? Sure. Okay. We'll do that. Do it again there so we get some replication of form. And itch. And then even again here. Not like that. We gotta kind of get them lined up a little better. Let's see if we can move it into place. Okay, sure. That's feeling better. I like it. It's still a little, as is my want, stubby. Can I move it the whole thing? Let's see. Is it first? Let's save. I'm kind of near the edge of the bounding box for some of this, so I'm not sure it'll move. Turn off active layer only. Raise this up. Bring down the inner race just a bit. Take this to maximum. Certainly makes it look sleeker now. Let's see if it. Yeah. Yeah, that's much better. It's way more, aggro looking there. Maybe we do the same back here, just a tad. If I didn't break everything. You never know when you move this much stuff this late in the game. And it always overdoes it for a bit too. You're like, "Wow, no!" And it usually comes back. Yep. Comes back. Looks good. Yeah, okay, it's way more. It feels way more Rebel Starship now. It does have a Mon Calamari vibe to me, or like the Rebel troop ship from Hoth. But yeah, okay, I want to make this a little less Smurfy round though. Let's. What layer is that? Is that layer 2 still? Yeah. Let's cut into layer 2, see what we do. It's so low res, unfortunately. The downside to doing things this way, that it gets a little bit janky. But we can fix that, I think. And I do like that shape more. So let's see if we can unjanky it a little bit. Go back to continuous for eraser. Yeah, that's cool. Digging that. We do the same thing and just cut that in there. Yeah, giving it a bit of sort of again, an aggro vibe in there. We don't know why, but it's just cool. So it should feel long, but it also should feel a little sleek. And I think it's doing that. Kind of cut ins. I think often, at least for me, when I'm making things like this, I tend to forget to cut in. I make a lot of build outs, but I don't take advantage as much as I should sometimes of cutting into the form. I think that can really make a huge difference very quickly. That negative shape is important. So it's one of the things I'm trying to do more as I go forward is to remember my negative shapes. I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. Yeah, all right. It kind of gives it a cockpit vibe that I'm not 100% into there, but I do like it. Something I can put in there maybe. It's tiny is the problem. Like it's not at all. How big can we get? How low can we go? Let's go back to single. No, we need to up-res a lot for that. Oh, we're on that layer. No wonder. Let's see if that's enough. Oh, we're out of space there. New layer. We're gonna go really big. Where's our? Come here. Bring my bounding box forward. Okay. And then place. Yeah, this is all layer 2 crap here. Let's see, when you get this close, you can see just how janky it is. We can probably just, let's see what happens if we kind of go with the World War II front thing model. Actually kind of like it. Looks like it's got a snapping turtle mouth. We got to fix that. And let's use the move tool. Go back to active layer only. Shrink that shit down. Okay, cool. Maybe. Is it cool? We don't know. Am I just warping it into a nightmare shape? That could also be true. That's clay. Continuous. And when I go that, you know what that means. It's time to erase. Okay, cool. Go to layer 2. Clean up this crap. That's not layer 2. That's another. Oh, that's this next. That layer 3. Yeah. Cut that off. Angle it in. Ooh, that's kind of neat. Hey, I actually like that better. Yeah. Give it some of that. Again, erasing can be really powerful. It doesn't have to just be additive. I like that. I think that's cool. It's given me a lot more visual interest for essentially free. And because we have geometry underneath it, we don't have to worry too much about like empty holes, which is the cool thing about doing stuff like this with voxels versus like a surface tool like Gravity Sketch or 3ds Max or any of those kind of things is like all this is full, so I can go and do that. And there's geometry all the way underneath there just to cut into it. So it's just like sculpting in real life, which is awesome. That was bothering me before, just a little artifact. Like that, just to give it, see how those negative spaces add to the concept, the idea really well without really costing us anything. I think it's just cool. On that layer. Yeah, no, leave it off. All right. Quick save. So we have that there. I don't know. I kind of dig it, actually. I think it might require some painting on top to give it something, but it could also be an intake or whatever, and it's kind of an interesting shape. So I would say this is like one half Star Wars and one half Zentradi from Robotech, if you're into that sort of thing. And if you're not, shame on you. And I'm kind of liking it. Bottom looks cool. Slide it down. So this is one of those ships that could definitely land in a starport on Tatooine, pick up some crap. So we're gonna say like, here's our landing, whatever you call it, ramps. Those come down because it kind of just hovers there, and yeah, instant like ship. So maybe I think of it as like a little bit bigger than the Millennium Falcon. It's not a huge ship, but it's bigger than the Falcon. But it could certainly make the Kessel Run. Save again. Can't remember if I did. Yeah, so I think we're going to call this one now until I can get it textured in KeyShot and put up there. Thanks for checking it out. If you don't already, please give me a follow on Twitch. And I store all of these afterward up on my channel on YouTube. And the 2D output design sheets get posted up on Instagram. So there's a bunch of places you can find all this stuff if you're into it. I really appreciate the views and the support, and I hope you continue to check us out with me. I do these every day at 10 a.m. for, say, somewhere between half an hour and an hour, depending on how long the individual one takes to make. What is that? Okay, that's weird. We're gonna get rid of that. That's layer. Yes, something got struck out. Let's get rid of that and resave and re-exit. Anyway, thank you very much, and I will check you guys out tomorrow. Have a good one. Okay, bye-bye.